have more on this later in the program. First, joining us now to react to our top story, America First Action Senior Advisor Sean Spicer, Fox News contributor Dan Bongino, civil rights attorney Daryl Parks. You know what I see that happened when the Democrats didn't have the votes yesterday to rightly condemn, Daryl, Congresswoman Omar. And then Ocasio-Cortez, she was supporting Omar. And then they come up with this ridiculous resolution. We'll just condemn everything, but we won't mention Congresswoman Omar that's causing the action in the first place. You know what I see? I see a very scared, frightened Speaker of the House that knows that she will either do what this new extreme element of her party says, or she will lose her position as Speaker.
Well, let me say this, Sean. I think that the Speaker knew that she had to deal with the issue. Obviously, none of us are in support of bigotry, and the Democrats had to answer the issue today, and they did via resolution. And so it's a party with a lot of viewpoints at this point, and I think the Speaker's leading well. I think that certainly the newer Congress people
they didn't have enough
have to
votes.
be careful.
Would you get on the stage with a woman that supports Sharia law, genital mutilation of women like Linda Sarsour? Because Kirsten Gillibrand did get on a stage with her. Others are friends and support her, prominent Democrats. Do you think hanging out with such an individual, if a Republican did it, what do you think the reaction would be?
I think without question, I'm a strong supporter of AIPAC and the Israel community.
What would the reaction be if it was a Republican? It's a simple question.
It wouldn't be a good question.
Would you get on stage with that person? Yes or no?
I think you have to be careful who you're seen with.
Would you get on stage with Linda Sarsour, who we know is a virulent anti-Semite herself?
I don't know that person, and I can't comment on it, but I think we certainly decry anti-Semitism, and you have
Dan
to
Bongino, I don't
be
think you
careful
would.
about these new voices.
You know, Sean, Daryl's right. They do have a lot of viewpoints, the Democrats. Socialism, infanticide, anti-Semitism. And I'm just curious as to why Daryl can't answer a simple question. It's obvious what Ilhan Omar said was an anti-Semitic trope meant to attack the state of Israel and the Jewish people. It's just stunning that the Democrats could not vote, Sean, on a simple resolution condemning anti-Semitism. Sean, this isn't hard to do. They tripped over each other to get away from this thing and threw everything in there and confused and muddled the entire mess, because that's what Democrats do.
You know, Sean, there is something called selective moral outrage, and we're seeing an awful lot of it. Now, if Justice Kavanaugh is accused of something from when he was a high school student, the mantra was, I believe. We have a lieutenant governor, a Democrat in the Commonwealth of Virginia, a lieutenant governor accused of rape with witnesses that say it was stated at the time and other serious sexual assault allegations. I don't hear anybody saying I believe. They say they care about dreamers in DACA. They won't even sit down with President Trump to even negotiate a deal that would help those people. We see it on a lot of issues. If this was a Republican, I think we'd get a very different response from the Democrats.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, the Democratic Party in the last 2 months has become unrecognizable from the Democratic Party of 2 years ago. They're embracing socialism, and now they're washing away this anti-Semitism that one of their members. And you played the clip. Member after member of their party got up there and excused it. Oh, she's from Somalia. She's a member of the U.S. House of Representatives. This is not someone who just got here yesterday, and even if it was, it shouldn't be excused. But it is kind of disgusting to see these senior members of Congress in the Democratic Party who, as you point out, have outrage about everything that going down to little Billy at Thomas Madison middle school says if they're a Republican. But one of their own members does it. They talk about how she didn't understand what she was saying. It really wasn't in her heart. And yet they're outraged by every Republican, every conservative that does anything that they deem inappropriate. It's disgusting. And the idea that they are doing this to our closest ally, Israel. And it wasn't just about Israel, because one of the members tried to make that an issue. She talked about it was the only reason that some members support them. It's all about the Benjamins, trying to imply that it was a financial payoff to the Jewish people. I mean, what she has said and what they are excusing
were numerous and frequent. Yeah, they were numerous and frequent.
And this shouldn't be a close call.
I have an exit question for everybody. I'll bet any amount of money they're going to be right back in this position sometime probably in the near future. What do you think? Sean's laughing. Is that
What's
a yes?
the over-under? I think within 4 weeks. Look, she went from being condemned to writing the resolution. Within 4 weeks, we're back where we were and trying to figure out how we condemn her, how we figure out how to isolate her, how to express outrage again with her. But they have now created this problem, and frankly, instead of punishing her, they've emboldened her.
Well, let me
Dan.
say this. I think there's no place of bigotry nowhere in America. And anytime we see this type of comments by anyone who's anti-Semitic, anti-black, we have to speak out.
I think you should tell that to your party, Daryl, but I do commend you, of course. I know you're a good man. Dan, last word.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear Daryl say that. I agree. I just wish Nancy Pelosi and the leadership of the party, Steny Hoyer and others, would take a more appropriate, strong stance against this. That's the only way it's going to stop, Sean.
All right, thank you all for being with us. When we come back, the return of Glenn Beck to